Hey gang, Uncle Todd here. Finally back with a show I enjoy watching. This one is, of course, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, second season. Fortunately, I didn't start this series until I was halfway through the first season of Star Trek, so I just thought I'd wait till the second season before I'd start doing reviews. To get caught up, one of the crew, whose ancestor was Khan, has taken a leave of absence. Number one, the second in command of the Enterprise, has been arrested because she is actually, she put herself down as human, but she's actually an advanced human, and that's illegal to serve. And Spock, who had to unleash his emotions last season, is now having a hard time controlling them again. So, as we start, they are Enterprise is in dry dock, getting inspected and revamped, and this and that and the other. Pike is taking a short furlough to go and defend number one. And Spock is left in charge. He is the next highest ranking officer as a lieutenant, but he's not happy with this, or as much as Vulcan can be. But Pike says, don't worry, probably not even going to get out of dock. And Spock then gives another one of those great one-liners that we will probably remember in years to come. There's an older saying, famous last words, and he is prophetic. Because during the inspection and overhaul, Uhura picks up a distress signal coming from their former crew member, Singh. I think that's the last name. Well, yeah. Asking for help. The entire Federation is in danger. Spock asks for permission to go to this planet that is on the edge of Klingon space, but is told no. It is part of a treaty in which 1 week Federation is in charge of the planet. The next week the Klingons are. It is a planet that mines lithium, which everyone needs for powering their ships. Spock, having seen the doctor for some odd symptoms he's been experiencing, turns out it's just hypertension from stress because his human emotions are getting out of control. And the doctor gives him a lyre, the musical lyre. You remember when, back in the original series, when Spock jammed with the space hippies? Yeah, it's that instrument. And it does help him calm down and de-stress. Well, he is turned down by the Federation command because it would be an act of war for a ship to show up during the Klingons' week. So, Spock decides to hijack the Enterprise. And he gathers up pilot and navigator, the doctor, and Uhura, and explains what he wants to do. He can't order them, and if they want to turn him in, that's fine. And they all decide they're in on it. So they fake a warp core leak. But the head of the inspection, who teaches engineering at the academy, notices it can't be a warp core leak because of certain factors. And she goes to the bridge to talk this over with Spock. So she realizes what he's doing, and if a Vulcan is stealing a ship, there must be a really good reason. And if they really want to do this correctly, they have to expel some warp particles out of the ship. which they do. And they are unclamped from the dock and told to get away from the station until this can be repaired. So they float away. And this new engineer, played by Carol Kane, steals the show, goes down to take over engineering. All the other inspectors evacuated because of the leak. And then they head to the planet. Once there, they meet up with Singh, and they learn that some Klingons who do not like having the peace treaty are planning some kind of event that will bring back the war. And people on the planet want the war brought back because they make more profit. Instead of selling equally to everybody, they can, during a war, they can charge higher numbers. So, their comrade had come there because she was reuniting a daughter with her parents. And unfortunately, there's been an outbreak of lithium poisoning. Now, this doesn't happen naturally during mining operations, but it could be done with a photon torpedo. So while the doctor and the nurse, I've forgotten her name again. Anyway, they go to help the parents of Singh's friends, and Spock and Uhura, I forgot about Uhura, they go with Singh, who's making a arms deal to see what they can find out. And in the arms deal, some Klingons are buying Federation weapons. Meanwhile, the doctor and nurse Chapel, after helping their friends get grabbed by some Klingons and taken to a Federation ship where they are forced to repair Klingons that have been exposed to too much radiation. Realizing that they're going to use this ship to attack a Klingon in the area, Klingon vessel, this will start the war. So they juice themselves, like they did last season, and have a horrendous battle, which finally allows them to get to a transponder, and they send a signal to the Enterprise before they're locked in an airlock and the ship takes off. Now, Spock, Uhura, and Singh are back, or no, Spock and Uhura are back on board the Enterprise. Singh is still finding stuff out on the planet when she sees the ship take off. Now, the Enterprise is hidden from the Klingon vessel, Bird of Prey, that is, or no, that's a Romulan ship, the Klingon ship that is patrolling the planet basically for that week. And they realize that this ship is going to attack the Klingon ship and probably get destroyed because it's nowhere near as powerful as the Klingon ship. Spock realizes what's going on, but when they get the signal from the doctor and Chapel, he's hesitant to fire on it. And so they're playing this cat and mouse chase. And finally, when there's no more time, Spock orders the photon torpedoes to destroy the Federation ship, which it does. But luckily, Chapel and the doctor had basically spaced themselves with a helmet and a backpack that sends off a signal, and they are thankfully transported back aboard the Enterprise before they die, although Chapel's in pretty bad shape, and Spock, with tears in his eyes because he cares more for her than he likes to admit, gives her CPR and brings her back. They then have to contend with the Klingon ship. Spock explains what was going on. He's not believed. But even though they've heard Vulcans don't lie, that's probably just a myth. He can only tell if a man's telling the truth if he can see him face to face, eye to eye. Spock agrees. And they both go down to the planet where Spock drinks his fill of blood wine and becomes celebrated by the Klingons. And the engineer teacher decides she wants to stay on the Enterprise. And Singh looks like, now that she's fulfilled her oath to reunite the girl with her family, can return to the Enterprise. Next, we have Spock discussing what he's done with the Rear Admiral. And given that they did avoid starting a new war, the Admiral is willing to let Spock's penance be the fact that he is hungover from Klingon blood wine. The reason for this is the Rear Admiral does not want to have the Federation fighting a two-front war. Because as we learn at the end, there is a Gorn ship at the edge of their territory. Something is going on. Great season opener. Carol Kane steals the episode with her really cool engineer who talks a mile a minute in this strange accent. Turns out I don't know if she's part of Gaian's race, but because I'm not too sure about all the race names, but she is practically immortal. And she asked Spock, do you know why, after years of eternity, I would want to go aboard your ship? What really pains me? And he's like, losing those you've come to love. She's like, what? No, everybody experiences that. Boredom. I'm bored. Being on your ship looks like it won't be boring. But yeah, looking forward to the next episode and finding out more about the Gorn plot. And hopefully Pike will save number one from prison. We know he will, but I'm hoping it's the next episode so that we can get into the real meat and potatoes of the action. Yeah, I love the callback to original Trek with the liar. That was really good. And the actor who plays Spock's really good. You can see him fighting to keep calm and be unemotional. But when he had to fire on the ship, not knowing if the Doctor and Chapel had gotten off, oh, that was almost heartbreaking. But really good episode. Looking forward to next week. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.